Hi there, today is February 1st, and I want to share something really cool that came up for me in my meditation these last few days. And what that is basically the opposite of our limits. And what I've been recognizing is the opposite of our limits is our value. Like, really, really breathe that in. Allow your nervous system to take that in, that we're operating from this subconscious system that was literally programmed by someone else's limits. Our limits are programmed by someone else's fears. And when we start to heal our limits, what we start to do is increase our value. A lot of people, talk about setting goals and, making money and all of this stuff. But if you don't shift your internal clock, I don't think I would call it a clock. If you don't shift your internal vibration and alignment, I guess is more what I want to say. If you become aligned with your value, everything that is meant for you will be attracted to you. And this is a really, really beautiful thing. And this is a journey. And, I've been thinking a lot lately about what it is I want to do with other people. I've done healing work since 2007, and then I was sick for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years in there. And I've been working at starting my business again, offering workshops, classes, whatever it is that I feel people could use. And what's been happening is my limits have been limiting what it is I'm offering other people. And it's interesting because I have been recognizing a lot of the belief systems that I have around money, and just all of the things that I believed to be true, that money was the root of all evil and all people with money are corrupt. And basically what I've been doing lately is just really sitting with all of it and asking, like, what is the truth? And it certainly is not true that money is the root of all evil. And it is not true that all people with money are corrupt assholes. So what I'm here to do is I want to work with people who are ready to do the work to find their value. And I'm not talking about your monetary value, what you're worth on paper. When you know your worth, your time is valuable, your relationships are valuable, your life is valuable, what you bring into the world is valuable, and that's why we attract money. If you have any thoughts about how to attract money, that is actually pushing money away. When you get into this place where your internal alignment and vibration, when your relationships and your time and your life and what you bring out into the world is the most important thing to you, money will show up. And I guess, like, I didn't say it right the first time, but that's how I wanted to say it. When you make meaning and the moments, and like I said, your relationships and your time, the most important thing, money will show up. And I've been experiencing this internally, but obviously the money hasn't shown up yet because it's very, very new to me. But I'm at this place where it just doesn't fucking matter. It just really doesn't matter. And that's why I know that it will show up, because for the first time, And I'm not saying that this is an all or nothing thing as well. I think we have to be really, really good and aware of how healing works. And it's like when you get stuck in a snowbank. I live in the middle of Canada, so we have a lot of snowstorms up here. When you get stuck in the snow, you don't just get out of the snow. It's like you rock back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and eventually you get enough momentum that you catapult the fuck out of the snowbank and you go along your merry way. Well, that's how it is when we're working with these belief systems. It's like we're dissolving chunks at a time, and we don't know the pieces that are going to dissolve when. All we know is that we put ourselves first. We make a new decision for ourselves that we want something different in our lives. And in order to have something different in your life, you have to create the space for it. And this is where a lot of people hit their ceiling. They don't want to do the work. They know what their goals are. They know what their dreams are. They know how much money they want to make. They know what they want to have. But they're not willing to put the work in. Well, Saya fucking Nora, that's not going to work. And it feels like there's a shift in the energy of the planets, of the world. I used to not even really believe in that, but I certainly do now. Because every time there's a moon and a portal and whatever they're talking about, I feel it. Like, I feel it so deeply. So what's happening, I believe, is we're reaching this time where you can make all the excuses you want, but you're going to start to feel it a lot deeper. You're going to feel the loneliness deeper. You're going to feel the lack in your life deeper. You're going to feel everything much deeper. And you're going to feel this, the void. Like when we don't put love and meaning and alignment first, everything else suffers. Everything else becomes a chore, a job. And like I said, there's this inner void. And there's a point, I think, in everyone's life where that void speaks so loudly that we decide to listen. I've had a lot of those moments, but what started this whole journey for me was in 2007 when I was sick. I was on Tylenol 3s every day. I had chronic abdominal pain, and I found an energy healer, and it was like, holy fuck, I was a computer programmer at the time. I didn't believe in any of that shit. But, she literally barely touched me. All she did was talk about my fears that nobody else would have known about. She was very intuitive. The next morning I woke up and all my pain was gone, and it's never come back since. But what happened from that shift is me recognizing that there was, I always knew that there was a void in my life. I didn't really know what it was. And what I recognized at that time was there was a whole spiritual world out there that I was not aware of, I was not involved in. And that's what energy healing did for me, is it helped me get onto this journey where I recognized that it was all a spiritual job. It was all an internal job. And so I've been doing this for 19 years now. And I would say I am at the point where it's time to bring what I've been working on into the world. I've created my own system of healing. And, like I said, I've been facing my own beliefs in lack, or that are based in lack, where, I'm trying to make it cheap for people. I'm trying to make it easy for people. Nope, not fucking doing that anymore. If you don't want to pay the money and you don't want to put the time into your own healing and make yourself the most important thing in this world, I'm not going to take my time to work with those people. So I am getting really clear on my value, and I want to spend time with people that recognize that they want their life to turn around, but they're going to do the work in order for that to happen.